get started as soon as we get a couple of people in here and make these little blasts real quick. Yo, 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 thank you guys so much for tuning in. How y'all doing? I'm here with Pawns. Let me introduce this young man real quick. This gentleman, this magical being. I'm gonna turn my camera on just a second. Make sure I ain't got no goobers, you know what I'm saying? But yo, hey guys, what's up? I'm gonna have Pawns come up here in just a moment, but I do want to introduce the wonderful being that he is. He has made it his mission to uplift the Black community, and I feel like that is something that we need to make sure that we are highlighting and we're putting emphasis on, because there's a lot of people in this world who want to do nothing but tear down the Black community. So to have somebody who is taking the time out to not only increase the positivity in this world, but to make sure that it's manifested in such a beautiful way and in such a brilliant way. Pawns, do you want to step up and just introduce yourself to everybody?
Oh gosh, I don't know where to go from there.
Press the V key on your keyboard.
I'm trying not to cry just from hearing all that.
Don't cry. Oh my gosh. Yo, what's up, guys? Hey. So this is Pawns Press. Hi, Pawns.
Hi.
So do you want me to call you Chase or do you want me to call you Pawns?
Either is fine.
Okay, all right. I've always been like a gamer tag type of person, even just being on Facebook. Yeah. It makes it a lot easier to just, keep that respect between each other. But I appreciate you so much for taking the time out and coming through.
All my gamer tags in the past have been completely ridiculous, so you can call me however. I mean, I've been Mega Badger, I've been Tangible Boar, all of them sound
Mega Badger?
All of them sound like poor names if you were going to go on to OnlyFans or something like that.
Oh my god.
And they were generated. I didn't even create those accounts. I was like, okay, I just want a random name. Oh, this is my name. Okay. Sure, why not?
So you just went with what came up?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I just want to play a video game. I don't care what my name is.
Oh my god. Do you feel like your name has made a big influence on just the community as a whole? And let me reset my camera real quick. I'm gonna just turn it off and then pull it back up. Is that better, Con?
That you look amazing. So that's why I say.
Thank you.
I mean, you're a talented makeup artist, so just looking like an angel.
I'm
So,
not an angel. I had a little headscarf I wanted to put on, but I don't know where I put it.
headscarf. Where'd the headscarf go?
I found it. Look, I found it.
What, you found the headscarf? Yo, wear it with pride.
I know, right? Isn't it cute? So I wanted
Are
to
you?
put like a little Daphne kind of feel to it, but we'll just go from there.
So,
But
so, are you hosting? Are you like being a part of any tournaments?
do I host tournaments? I
Well,
actually don't compete competitively on anything anymore. I
oh,
stopped because, like I said, I don't like how competing makes me feel because I get very aggressive. I'm naturally like an aggressive person as a whole, and I feel like my blood pressure was high, you know. But this ain't about me. It's about
okay,
you.
okay, okay.
This is about you. So,
Well, go
how did
ahead.
you come up with your name, Pawns Press?
Well, actually, the thing is, it didn't start with interviewing black creators. It actually started with covering indie games. And
Oh,
I used to be a part of a YouTube MCM called Freedom, which is a weird name, but the Freedom Network. And if you are a YouTuber, there used to be these MCNs you can not subscribe to, you can partner up with and get all these deals. So I did work for a company called Freedom, where all I did was just make short reviews of indie games. Back, I forgot when it was, maybe 2014 or something. And that's the thing, is we just be getting all these review keys, and then we'd have a manager step in saying, "Are you gonna make that review? Okay, well, how's that coming along, huh? Huh? Be indie, be free.
uh,
You better get it done, or else I'm gonna kick your butt." No, they didn't go that far, but
uh,
it's, man, that experience was crazy. Um, so I still cover indie games, just
mhm.
not under a roof of someone else's guidance or direction, but my own. As far as where it came to the black community and actually BIPOC, was when I started just deciding to interview people besides game developers. And I had a lot of friends of mine over here in DFW that I adore dearly, who are Black, Asian, Latina. So it wasn't even just about the Black community, it was just about diversity, dealing with the pandemic, and also the experiences they've had, because growing up, uh I've been in white neighborhoods, but I always feel like, really, if you were to stay with just one perspective, you're going to miss some importance of being with other people. So I never want to be that white man who is only hanging out with other white people, because that leads to nothing but the perspective of the white man or woman. Uh, so even growing up, I always wanted to include people who are of different perspective, or different ethnicities, race, sexualities, but not even just based on that. Just because that person's just a really cool being, who just so happens to be of a different skin color, sexuality, disability. I always wanted to feel like, or I always felt like, include there's an importance to inclusivity. Um, Even when growing up, I had a lot of issues as an adult with autism, but when it came down to the acceptance of others who look different, that
Mhm.
was something that I never wanted to. Even if I didn't know everything, I never wanted to be closed-minded.
Okay. So with your your open-mindedness, and of course you have like a very open heart too. Um,
Oh,
and you did
stop.
mention that you have autism as an adult. You know, like that doesn't go away. Like just because you
No, that
grow
doesn't.
up, it just
There's so
doesn't
many
mysteriously
jokes.
go away. It's not like you know, having a gap in your
Yeah.
teeth or cross-eyed when you were younger, and it just corrects itself because you got older or matured. You know, it's something that you're gonna live with for the rest of your life, and being able to emphasize that and communicate that to other people who don't know what autism is, or who don't know what being on the spectrum feels like, or being around somebody who's on the spectrum, that's even harder. So being able to have that resiliency and overcome those obstacles, and not looking at that as your, because I have blah blah blah, I can't do this, this, and this. No, you are very, very capable. You have been able to show that you are so much more than what the world would call a disability. I personally don't feel like autism is a disability. Like I said, I have a son who's autistic, and I tell him every day, like, you don't have to tell people you're autistic. You know, you don't have to tell people what your what your brain is set up like. You know, just be a good person and do your best to try and understand those social cues as you're learning people. And of course, he's younger, so you've been able to communicate that or express it. Hey, if I do not understand what you're saying, please be patient with me. And I've actually been able to participate in a lot of your events as of late, which I would love to be able to participate in crab games, by the way.
The door's open.
Uh, so Pons is doing crab games this weekend, so please make sure that you guys are following him and making sure that you tune in for that. And that's Sunday,
Yeah,
not
Sunday
Saturday.
at
It's
2
Sunday
p.m.
at 2 p.m. Central
Central
Time.
Stand. Yeah.
Yeah, Central Standard Time, which is 1, 2, 12.
Yeah.
You're 2 hours ahead of me. Yeah, so 12
Yeah.
p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know I get a little bit mixed up with my time zones sometimes, but we're doing a pretty good job. We're doing a pretty good
No,
job.
you're doing great. But yeah, the reason why it's even in the afternoon is because we're also including people from Europe or the United Kingdom. So it isn't just American content creators.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so that's just it's a fun, silly thing because one of my best friends in the streamer world is, I mean, she goes by Variety Princess. Some know her as Deja on YouTube. And we just kind of like mess each other for fun, with each other for fun. And we played Crab Game a long time ago. And I was, because she keeps bringing it up because I won a game, a few games or something. I don't even remember, but she kept going on about it. So I finally, I'm like, you know what, Deja? All right, let me settle your butt down.
Rematch.
Let's play.
Rematch.
Well, there was only like 6 people last time, so I was like, let's do another crab game, but bring more people in.
Okay.
And I was surprised at how many people are, joining already. Even as we speak, like the list that I gave out on Twitter is not even accurate.
Oh wow! So it just keeps growing, and that's amazing. See, and you have to understand that even though people may not tune in right then and there because it might not be convenient or a good time, like for them to be able to tune in or to be able to listen in, understanding that your name still holds weight. Okay, even if you only know 10 people or 1,000 people, your name still holds weight, and it has to hold weight to you. Okay, so you're like, hey, I'm doing this event, and this event. If that's something that you really, really want to be known for, you're able, you're capable. Okay, able it is. I'm gonna just token that one. Are you an avid reader? Do you have like a book that you've been reading lately?
So, to kind of even answer when you mentioned Pawn Express, because I brought up like how it was created, but I do want to add on to that. Pawn Express before streaming was and still is in some way a podcast, and I have done interviews prior to streaming with different Black creators, and so occasionally Asian, and I even had one who was Southeast Asian American Indian, or a few, but um, it's a podcast, and I also listen to other podcasts, so I end up being that type of person who you sound dumb when you say, "Oh, I don't read." That's not exactly the case. I do read, but I also listen. And I feel like when I'm doing something else and I just got my ear plugged into a podcast, that
Mm-hmm.
might also be an audiobook, or might be a read along, or might be a
Right.
discussion.
Right.
I feel like that could count, even though you're not technically looking at text, you're still gathering information, which that is essentially what reading is about.
See, and I like that. I like that you're highlighting audiobooks because I feel like so many people sleep on audiobooks as a whole. And you don't have to put yourself in a position where if you're not a person who will pick up a book and actually like sit down and read it, sometimes we don't have patience for it, or we have dyslexia, or we have different things that keep us from being able to enjoy all of this entertainment that's out there. But going on Audibly or Amazon, well, that's Audibly. That is
And,
Audibly,
yeah,
or
Audible.
even just utilizing like Speechify or anything like that to be able to read through some of the virtual books or the Kindle books or anything like that. That is even better for some people, and they retain the knowledge better. That might be what it is too. Is it makes it a lot easier because you're an audio learner to navigate through what the book is trying to say, you know. Do you have a favorite accessory since you've started your podcast or your stream?
Well, when I started my podcast, it was audio, and from the very beginning, I just had to work, because I mean that's another thing you hear a lot when the whole thing is okay, how do you start as a creator? Uh, I started with not really much. Like I had to work with basically a budget of zero. I did not have this mic you see right here or these headphones. I had to go with a headset, which some people say is not ideal, but you know, I feel like you should start. However, you could start with just using this phone. People make movies now using this
Mm-hmm.
phone. Actual filmmakers have made movies and released them on Netflix, and they were shot specifically from a iPhone or a smartphone device.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working with nothing, and it was completely audio. I would just do a Skype or a Zoom call with the person I'm interviewing, um, and just from there, I just was able to get more. So, favorite accessory, I don't really know because it's something that's ever changing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like what you have right there, I don't. I bet you didn't start out with that.
Oh no. Oh no, definitely not. I think I started with like a just a headset, just a Turtle Beach headset, microphone, and a laptop. That was it. And um, piled in a room with my ex-husband, and there was like a bed, and then his setup, and then the bathroom was right there. Everything was right there for me. So even just being able to have like my own space for now it has been a blessing in itself. So I get it. I get it. Do you have something that is like a gentle reminder every day that you kind of tell yourself? Like what are some of your words of affirmation?
Um, I like to not even think of it as words of affirmation, but rather people of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, what drives me every day is not just the love for it, but just the friends you make, and just seeing them succeed or seeing them thriving. There is, I don't want to say that dependency, because that also sounds like, okay, well, you're depending on these other people. What can you do yourself? No, it's just that there's just something beautiful about having friends, and especially having friends who are doing similar things to what you are into right now.
Right.
Um, so I always look at that.
Okay. Okay. Do you have people that inspire you in your sites? Like, who are the ones that are you look up to, or who motivates you? What is it that gets you ticking as far as someone?
Like you. That Vince, that because there was a clip you brought out, or no, that when I interviewed you, that you had about um the oh, you were talking about what if someone were to win $5,000 or $500,000, and I replayed that clip and I cried. I'm not kidding, because you really are someone who lifts other people up, and I can never thank you enough for that. I'm even just surprised that you have me on here, because I I didn't even think I was worth it.
Now, see, and I want to make sure that you understand that who you are holds weight. You know, you do a lot for the community, you know, for the BIPOC community, and sometimes um, being the interviewer, like even when you asked me, I was just like, why would you ask me? Like I'm nobody. Like I get it. It makes sense when you're the person who's always the interviewer and never the person that's interviewing. It's a different feeling when someone else asks you. It's not that you're not worthy. You know, you don't feel like, okay, it's not that I'm not worthy. It's just this is something that I do, you know, on a regular, and identifying people who need to be out there, who need to be showcased, who need to be heard, and you make a platform for that. And so not discrediting yourself is one of the most important things. And that's why I had to ask you to come on here. I was already well, at the beginning of the quarter I kind of go over who I want to interview, and I know like I have 3 that I have to make sure that I have for each month. And you were definitely one of the people that I wanted to interview, because you have done so many events. You have invested so much time, and understanding that volunteer work is work that you do from your heart. You know, you don't just do it because, oh, someone told me to volunteer, or someone told me to host these events for people of color. Someone told me to no, that's you. That's what your heart is. That's how your heart is built. So being able to emphasize that to the rest of the world is something beautiful, and you should walk in that. That's definitely power that's there for you. You know. Do you have like a favorite social media platform, like your go-to? What's got you in a chokehold right now?
You know, I think over recent years, I started to really acknowledge what you can do with Twitter. And now that may sound like a lot, because Twitter is also a platform where you can see a lot of drama, and I've been seeing plenty of that. However, I do feel like as a content creator, there's a lot you could do with Twitter. And just like every social media platform, there's a whole algorithm, there's a whole sort of kinks, ins and outs to sort of work your way around. And with Twitter, there's such a fast amount of engagement. You could just tweet to somebody. You know, it could be negative, but I also like to think of the positive side of the sort of deals people reach from talking to someone on Twitter. Like, I've seen collabs of 2 creatives happen because they just tweeted each other. So there's a lot of beautiful things you could do with Twitter, despite its reputation for the negatives portion. So I've just begun to respect Twitter just for the positive side that it could provide, and just the speed. of how not only can you get yourself out there, but really the networking is what I feel like is more important than just letting people know you're live, is
Hmm.
really engaging with other people and making
Right.
friends.
Do you feel like with your engagement, um, as you're increasing your environment on Twitter, and I'm a very big advocate for preserving or protecting the vibe that's around you, your
Yeah.
environment. As you know, this is the garden. So, because it's the garden, it is important to understand that there are a lot of aspects that come along with being in a garden that you don't even consider. There's always going to be bugs, there's always going to be weeds, there's always going to be um, times when the garden gets dry. You know what I'm saying? Like, but how you water it and how you maintain it and prune it is so important. It's so very, very important. And that's how you're going to continue to preserve the beauty that's there. And that's what you've created within yourself, or even just being able to see how the Twitter space is, and how positive the environment can be, just depending on what type of energy you're putting out there. And I think that's what you're saying is like, my energy dictates what my environment looks like. So now it's inside affecting the outside, you know?
Yeah, and I also don't want to come off like I need to instruct people, or at least I need to tell you how to respond to negativity, to respond to drama, to respond to anything else. If you feel like you want to engage with someone who is being hateful, and I think it's there's all the importance to it. In fact, I think a similar story, and I'm even going to mention the PC company. The reason I even bring this up, because this one streamer who got screwed over by a PC gaming company, there was almost like a plus that happened out of the minus, not just of
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
rallying on this creator's side, but there was even a bigger YouTuber that just voluntarily built a PC for that creator for free, and a lot of that engagement happened on Twitter. So I and I because it's hard to really be that person to say don't listen to the trolls, because it's almost like a two-way sword, just a two-way edge. Uh,
Mm-hmm. A double-edged sword.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I make random phrases of it? Okay, double-edged sword. Um, but what I was trying to get at, uh, there are people who will push your buttons, and
Every time.
you you can engage with them if you want. I think that you should be responsible for how you respond, or how do you react to things.
Right.
Um, but I do feel like the reason why they engage with you is so you can engage back, and they can feed off of that engagement.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's so hard, because it's hard to tell someone don't respond to someone who's saying hateful things about you.
Right. Right.
Um, I'm sure you've had your fair share of that. And I've had that recently too. There was a guy who made a 4-part rant about me over that the YouTube mixer, and I was just reading through it. I was like, this guy really took time out of his day to like just talk a lot of crud. Uh, and I didn't want to engage, but he had the same mutuals as I did.
Mm.
So there was just a part where he kept tagging me. I was like, okay, you know what? It was basically because the YouTube mixer that happened at the last weekend of February, it was all black women. The reason for that, I actually did reach out to black male YouTubers, but at least the ones that I knew of, they were not available. Um, and that's something I always wanted to improve on. I always wanted to reach out to more people, so I
Mm-hmm.
do take note of that. But he kind of worded it like, no, you are just trying to get attention and like feed off of black women. And I was like, all right, look, you son of a gun. I didn't really say it worded like that, but I said for the record, I did try to reach out to black men as well. No one was around. Um, and the reason why I put that event up because I have a friend who is a YouTuber, a black woman who is a YouTuber, and I wanted to see her to see other creators who oh god dang it, oh shoot, oh I'm
What's
sorry,
wrong?
there was a background echo. I
Okay.
wanted to see other creators who looked like her,
Uh-huh.
so I left it at that. But you know, again, I cannot tell you how to react to when things like that happen.
Right. Right. And I love that you wanted to open up that forum for someone who is your friend, and that's being a good friend is making opportunities for other friends. That's in my book. That's what it is, and I think you're an amazing friend. Taylor said, "We love you, Chase.
Oh yeah, that's
Don't
my
let the
sister.
haters get you guys down." And I
Yeah,
agree with that. I feel like there's always going to be someone or something that's going to try and
right,
rain on your parade when you are actually on the path that you're supposed to be on, and you're walking in who you are, and you're doing a great job at that. You're doing something positive that helps other people feel better about who they are and things that they can't change about themselves. I can't change that I'm a black woman, just like you can't change if you have autism or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are
right,
things that society feels are negatives, but they're not, and they're who we are.
yeah.
That's what makes us, that's what makes us tick and everything. So, what is your mental health check-in? So, like, if you are down or you're sad or you're not feeling something, what is something that you do to help uplift your spirits, um or just get it off your chest?
Um, if I were to ever feel down, and I think we all do, I think it's important to kind of open up and be open to not feeling okay, and uh, you should be able to share your feelings on everything. Um, to combat any sort of depression or any sort of anxiety, any sort of emotional beats that are heartbreaking. Um, I just game. I just focus on just uplifting others. I think if there's anything that is also a reason for doing what I do is because lifting up others also lifts myself up. It just lets me know that no matter what horrific things or what happens in the world, there's something good going on. And seeing people happy is something good, especially when it's people you care about.
Okay,
And also
okay.
video games. You cannot deny the love of video.
Right, right. I feel like
Yeah,
gaming has such a negative stigma to the rest of the world that doesn't play, that
right.
they don't realize how um how much release you can get it from playing your favorite game. It doesn't matter if you're playing PUBG or Pokemon. You're gonna be happy playing something that you like, and you don't have to play everything.
No.
I'm a variety gamer. Are you a variety streamer? Would you consider
Yeah,
yourself variety?
I would. I mean, I play the games that I enjoy. I mean, recently I just started getting back into old game. Well, just playing old games live, like Sonic Adventure. Man, that game is crazy. Um, Chows are cute. Everybody's on meth. It's a good time.
Oh my God. Do you have a particular platform that you prefer? Do you like PC gaming, console gaming, mobile more than anything?
I grew up on console gaming,
Hmm.
and I mean, for the long, I still have my older consoles. I never really want to get rid of them because we used to have even in-person events where you bring our gaming consoles, but also even with streaming, I feel when I'm able to just crack the code, I'm still learning streaming to this day. I'm still trying to even figure out how to do a console stream. I have, uh, okay, it's not with me, but I got like a capture card, and I'm still trying to figure out like how to connect the capture card to one separate monitor, and then connect it to the laptop. But speaking of which, ever since I received this laptop, this Acer Predator Helios 300, it's such a strong gaming machine that it sort of converted me to being a PC gamer because of so much more I'm able to play as opposed to my previous PC gaming experiences where if I wanted to play Halo Combat Evolved, it would run at 30 frames FPS. It screen minimalized. Now I can run Dying Light 2 Stay Human at over 60 frames on high settings.
Now, see that's completely a gamer flex right there.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that just the growth of even being a PC gamer. I used to have PC like gaming laptops and even desktops that could barely run something above 25 frames. And it's just amazing to have this and been having this and able to run the latest games at a high frame rate and be able to run ray tracing, like stuff that is new to console gaming.
Yeah, I'll say I don't have a next generation Xbox or PlayStation. Not that I don't want one, but
And you'll get one.
seeing the difference in just the startup time for a game, or if you're crashing or anything like that, do you feel like uh, that has changed you as well? Like being able to queue up a game and it just start instantly, or as soon as everything loads in, it's just crisp. Did that change once you started PC gaming?
Oh yes, that did. Well, I'd say I didn't have an issue with like loading console gaming. I'll say there are probably some console games back when I played them, they ran at 30 frames per second, and then playing them on PC, they run over 60 frames. And I'm not saying PC gaming is perfect. I mean, there's sometimes they had crashes on PC games as well. I mean that crashes are something that unfortunately is a part of gaming today because everything is digital and everything is running on a server of some
Right.
sort. Um, so I do get those, but I definitely see where the huge upgrade is with this as opposed to what I had prior.
Mm. Do you have any plans for the future for Pawns Press?
Well, that's the thing, because now I am, because that's the thing is I do have a full-time job. I work from home, customer service, and I just got a schedule where that's also going to shift my hours around. So I'm pretty much having to sort of play by ear until I can get to a point where I can have that regular 8 to 5 and breeze through. So it's just adjusting that time. But I think one of the bigger things for at least the platform I have is doing this in person because it means a lot to sit down on a Zoom call on Discord or whatever to just lift up a black creative, for example. But to carry that to in-person events, because this year I'm also going to be doing press for DreamHack, and I'm helping out with DreamCon. So those are like two conventions I'm just super hyped for over the summer. Um, and even going to Fan Expo. But I don't want this to just be virtual because there are plenty of amazing Black creators, probably in Dallas. And
Mm-hmm.
I would, before even today, I would go to these vegan festivals that are black owned, and it's just a beautiful, like almost like a fashion show because it also celebrates fashion, but there is so much black positivity in that festival that I attended, and it was just something that was a sweet. And you look at things like that again, just as online, you look at those sort of events in person and know that there is good in the world. The world is not all about burning, uh, cancel this year, or that, or I mean, cancel Black History Month, cancel this month, cancel Women History Month.
Mm.
When there are great things happening in within these periods. Not to ignore the bad that, of course, continues to happen.
Do you do you feel like being being in the space that you are and being an advocate for the BIPOC community, it made you a target? Do you feel like that?
Well, that's the thing. I used to. I think one thing that when the pandemic hit, and even with George Floyd, with just a lot of things that have happened in 2020, um, that's where a lot of people started to open their eyes about who they were hanging out with.
Mm.
And I was one of those people. I used to hang out with, and I still, man, I have some amazing friends who happen to be white, but at the same time, I was also with white people who they were cool with me. They seemed to really like me, but they had this motto: "Hey, you mentioned drama, you mentioned politics. Hey, no offense. Uh, I hope you're okay with that. I'm gonna cut you off just to protect my peace." And that
Mm.
drama politics included talking about Black Lives Matter because they don't want to offend their friends who are, um, let's say, racist.
Mm.
Uh, and that just made me look at it as like, well, they're just willing to ignore this. Just ignore this because they want to pretend like everything is happy. Um, so that's why I always want to not be ignorant, but at the same time not be too doom and gloom per se. But if that answers your question,
It does. It does. Do you have like the newest thing that you found that you love about yourself?
well, I with when spending time with friends and even doing these sort of streams where I'm gaming with friends, the thing that I end up really loving, that sort of almost overcomes whether or not I get many viewers in this stream or many engagement. Because I know now Twitch is possibly turning off lurkers, or they're doing something with lurkers where that's not being
Yeah.
counted. But
Yeah.
I see the love of just spending time with friends and goofing off on whatever game we play. And I those became some of my favorite moments on stream, is just grabbing a friend, whether it be someone I knew in person or through this creative field, and just playing something with them or just hanging out. Um, so I guess that sort of social connection, I have, I've kind of learned to love it over time, as opposed to me being an autistic adult and growing up with that, having that antisocial part.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I could only imagine because there are certain things that I know my son doesn't want to tell me because he's battling it and he wants to do it alone, and I'm just like, you don't have to be alone. And I'm gonna tell you, like I tell him, you do not have to go through this alone. You have so many people who care about you, who love you, who think you are brilliant, that you are a beam of light and a beacon of light. So lean on that. If you feel like your legs are weak at that moment, lean on it. Lean on it. And
Right.
I know how it is being the positive friend, the strong friend. People don't feel like you are fragile in those things, or that you have your moments where you get emotional, or that you're just not in a good mood. It's okay. Those kind of things are okay. Okay. You are human. You're normal. You are competent and capable. And that's the thing that sometimes when you fall short, or you don't come up to where you think you should be, that it will make you feel like, ooh, am I supposed to do this? And I battle with imposter syndrome a lot. And I've noticed that when you get certain accolades, even you just saying, ooh, I don't think I'm deserving of being interviewed, or are you sure you want to interview me? Those are things that fall under that kind of like gray area. Because if a person comes to you and asks you, hey, I think you're great, I want you in on this project, this, and this, you're the perfect person for it. Embrace that. Embrace that. As much as you want to embrace the negative portions of it, like, why are you asking me? What are you going to get from it? You're not going to get anything from me. Sometimes people don't want anything. They just want to uplift you. Okay? Allow them to. Allow them to take the time out to uplift you, like you've uplifted so many.
Thank you.
What do you think is a major key that you've learned on your journey?
Well, I mean, I feel like everybody, whether it be as a creative or as a human being, is constantly growing. And I think, teenager me probably would have not even taken sort of constructive feedback to heart, as opposed to 26-year-old me, where I pretty much take notes whether or not someone enjoyed it or someone didn't. And I've heard both sides, and I think that because this is going to sound strange how I even phrase this, but don't always look at the people who really love your content. There are people who really love your content. There are people who hate it and nothing you can do about it. But there are people who are like, yeah, I like it. Here's some things that I think would be cool. If you can either go like, you know what, screw you. No, this is how I'm going to run things. Or you can even look at it and go, okay, I'm going to take that to heart. I'm going to consider that. So, I feel like in the right sense, constructive feedback is great.
Agree. Do you have any partnerships in the future that you would like?
I mean, I just want to consider whether or not I get partnerships in the future. I do have some. Actually, I have a partnership with Tiny Build, and that's one of the indie publishers out there. Their most notable game people may know is Hello Neighbor, and they got the sequel coming out later this year, or at least in early access. I have some PR ties on with Activision, and by a few other companies, whether it be like really big or really small, but nothing as far as like a paid sponsorship. Pretty much that's fine. Again, I'm entirely grateful to any sort of opportunity. So will any of that happen in the future? That'd be cool, but in the meantime, I just want to continue doing what I do, and let whatever partnership happens that I feel interested in, because that's also the important thing, is getting into a partnership where that product is something that I would use, and not just because, hey, I could get paid out of this. Um, so in the future, cool. I would love that. Um, I'm not entirely too concerned whether or not I get one.
See, and I like that you're not concerned about it. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's for you, it'll come. If it's
Yeah.
for you, it will come to you. Just automatically. That's if it's for you, it will come to you. But put it out there. Like what are some of the companies that you do want to partner with that you haven't had an opportunity to even speak with, but eventually down the line you will? Like do you have a specific company that you really want to work with and you're just like, "Hey, this is something I want to do. This is what I can do." Blah blah blah. Go ahead, pitch it.
Well, I mean, I grew up with Nintendo and even in PlayStation, like all these game companies, but even uh, snack products. I love Texas Toast, so I don't even like even think about how that sort of partnership could work. But I
Mm-hmm.
have always seen myself even like drinking in Coke Zero, any sort of just even like snacks that because you got even Doritos, and that's just awesome to even get that. Um, but and any sort of accessories that I feel are really great because there's a lot of PC builder companies out there, and not on the top of my head that I can think of one at least immediately. But again, whenever something any opportunity comes, and I always want to first look at what that's about because I think sometimes the best partnerships are the ones you don't even expect.
That's facts. That's facts. I I I like that. I like that. So he's out there, ladies and gentlemen. He's available. He's ready for those
Wait,
partnerships.
what
If
do you
you're
mean
ready
by
to
that?
partner with him, hit him up. Hit him up. Make sure you
Okay.
guys are following Pons. He's on Twitch. He's on Twitter. You're on Instagram as well, right? And you're on
Yeah, no,
TikTok. He's on
yes, Instagram,
TikTok as well.
TikTok, Hover.
And on Hover.
Yeah.
Um, how do you feel about um, companies that take advantage of their streamers?
I mean, that's not good. Even like with Twitch, because I know about how the Black History Month, Black Excellence thing was handled.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best. In fact, I hear they even got rid of it. I haven't checked to see if that was true, but whether or not companies are taking advantage, or maybe they're just mishandling how to go about promoting these types of people. I always hate that because I keep hearing that even for black content creators, there are all these sort of partnerships that say, "Hey, do this for us for free, and we'll give you a deal about this product or this other product." I'm just not for that. And I see that happen now and then. I mean, recently with this PC builder company, forgot the
Mm-hmm.
name of it, starts with an A, but
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I'm not for that. That's just simple as that. And I hope companies are smarter than to not take advantage of the people that are doing what they can to support.
Right. Right. I think even in light of the I'm gonna say A builds company and the CEO's terrible apology, it was almost like his mom was standing behind the camera and was like, "You're gonna apologize right now. You said some bad things to these people and blah blah blah." Like
Okay,
that's
Mom! Don't take my
okay.
Star Lord away!
I guess,
No.
and it looked like he was getting his teeth pulled on his apology. That is the kind of thing that fortunately enough, uh, I did do some investigating because they did message me as well. Um,
Oh,
but before I said yes, I don't like to sign contracts or be on a part of things that I don't understand or know who's involved. because those are representations of you. Those are representations of your brand and what direction you're going to go with that, you know? Do you feel like with that being something there, that light now being shed more and more and more into companies, that's how they view view us content creators? I'm not even gonna say these, because I am and you are as well, you know? That being said, do you feel like there's a better way for them to go about navigating just working with content creators as a whole? Pay us.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah, there's that. Well, there's just being nice. Actually, now you even think about it, I did have one company, I'm not even going to mention the name, but they reached out to me and said, hey, would you like a sponsorship deal? And I was, because at first I looked at the cameras looked really nice, and I was like, okay, all right, so sort of a streamer accessory type company, because it's not just cameras, there's other sort of things, that I think even microphones as well. But they're like, okay, this is what you got to do. You see this camera that we have on Amazon? Yeah. Okay. Here's my PayPal. Go ahead and donate this amount of money, and I'll donate the rest. And then we'll ship it to you, and you got to review it. And I thought about that. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But then I clicked to me. I was like, oh, no, this guy wants my money. Because no company should tell you, you got to pay us before we do this sponsorship with you.
And product is not payment, guys. I think that's something that we need to really start emphasizing, is sometimes it's okay. Like, if Fashion Nova hit me up tomorrow, hey, we want you to do a haul. We're going to give you a $500 gift card. And look, I'll take free clothes, but you still got to pay me. You know what I'm saying? It may not be as much as my expectation level, but having those clothes ain't gonna feed my kids or pay my bills. And I think that's where you're going with that, is you really need to make sure that you're being a good steward for your brand, you know? And shoot, I don't know. I just want to say I am so proud of you. I am so very, very proud of you, Pons. So keep going, despite all of the negativity, or anybody who won't get it, or they'll see something and not know what footwork you had to do to set up those events. They don't know how many people you hit up. I didn't know doing a podcast would be so intricate. Looking at the ones I would do when I was on Mixer and the ones I'm doing now, how different the environment is. And even when I look at some of your old work compared to now, and your events before and now, you weren't making flyers when you first started. You weren't, tagging people when you first started, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, now you're actually investing that time back into you. They don't know what shadow work went into getting your live together.
And wanted to even address tagging people, because that's another thing about being content creator. Because I see people tag a bunch of people whenever they do a tweet, or when they say, hey, I'm live, or I'm doing this thing. They tag like a huge group of people. And I guess that's just something to watch out for on the reason why you're tagging people. So when you say and you're tagging a bunch of people, I just want to address it. I don't want to tag someone unless if it's something that is really meant for them, as not just, hey, look at me.
Right. And I think some people do utilize that as a, hey, look at me, or these are the people I know, so let me tag them so I know these people, because everybody else is included, especially in the Twitter space. It's included well after that post has disappeared off the feed. I think I think that's it for us. I want to say thank you so much, Pons, and just coming out here and really spending some time to get to know you. And like I said, I really feel like you're such a beautiful person. It's so important to emphasize that. Men can be beautiful too, but beautiful on the inside. And it shows that your heart is in the right place. And I think that when you do approach people that have never met you or never seen your work before or never even done an event with you before, and that was one of the things for me when I first met you was, who are you working with, or who else is involved in this event, or why is it so important that we look at all aspects of the event? You know, that holds weight. Your name is now starting to hold more and more and more weight. And you are doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Do you have anything for the audience that you want to say? As far as like maybe something positive you want to leave, like a good note?
Well, I can say first that you're doing a great job. I mean, just even look at the graphic around us. That this whole person actually streaming. I'd have to point that out. Streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube at once. Like, do you know how challenging that could be for some? Actually, a lot of people to even look through all that. How much internet you're using? I would imagine. I wish I had that internet.
Thankfully for Restream, thank you so much, Restream. I am partnered under a little cloud there, but
yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you coming through and just being a part of my garden and sowing.
I appreciate you.
So I can't wait to play with you on Sunday. You're gonna have to send me a link because I don't know how to set up crab games at all. So yeah, I need to know.
It's a bit. I mean, it's pretty much a free game you can get on Steam. It's like a silly party game. All you just have to do is just whatever the mini game tells you, just do it and kick everybody's butts or something like that. Bad. But what I have to say about for everybody else here is that whatever you decide to be or do in life, and it doesn't have to be content creation, it could be anything. You are worthy to be that person, and you're worthy to feel however about your journey towards being that person. You can take content creation out of it. Just who you are right now in 2020 and who you decide to be.
I agree. Well, thank you so much, Pons, and I hope you have an amazing night and get plenty of rest. And your schedule, don't let your schedule changes stop you, because you're on a roll and you're doing great things, and your community is only growing. Okay, so I don't consider anybody a small streamer. I feel like you're a growing streamer. You know what I mean? A growing community. And being there for your community is something that you do best.
Thank you. Good for you, what you're doing now. Whatever you're, I mean, probably playing some games, I would assume.
Oh, when I get off of here, I'm going to sleep.
Okay.
I'm going straight to sleep. My head is going to hit the pillow.
Okay.
Hard as heck. I am tired.
I thought you were like, all right, now we're done with this. Okay, who wants a PUBG?
Well, I had been up for like 26 hours. I just couldn't sleep. I had so much on my mind, and usually when I get into like that mode where I start feeling the energy around me shifting, or things that I don't like, it bothers me, but it bothers my spirit. And when it bothers my spirit, it stays very heavy, like right here in my heart, until I'm able to understand like its full dynamic, its full parameters there. So yeah, like I said, I couldn't sleep. I didn't want to stream being in that mindset, and now I feel so much better. I did take a nap beforehand, but I'm exhausted. So I know you had a whole day of work before you came in here, and
Well, no, I was
appreciate you
looking
taking
forward
the
to
time
this.
out to come in here with me.
Actually, I do have one more thing because I wanted to make sure I was able to. I apologize for any plugins, but this is also something going on. And going back to an earlier question about what's the future. So I'm actually working with one of OM Jess's mods on a convention that is here in Texas, North Texas. It's called WowCon, short for Woman of WonderCon.
Wow,
And
okay.
so it's a 2-day event that's gonna happen, and the dates are coming up, but you can follow it on WowCon Texas Facebook or on Twitter. Oh, excuse me. But it is a summer. Oh, damn, me and my coughs. It's a summer convention that is going to be celebrating diverse women. So that could definitely, I mean, not just Black women, but women in general. And in the past, we've had people who worked on the Wonder Woman movie, the live action one. Some other special effects artists who are female. And this year will be great too. Not anything I could say right now because I'm just helping out. But WowCon in Texas, definitely check that out. If you're in North Texas, that's towards the end of July. Actually, pretty much in August, early fall. But more dates. I'm pretty much more info to come. Just definitely follow there. That is something as far as the convention over here. But yeah, that's coming up.
Okay, that sounds good. I love that, and I love conventions, and I do love to travel. Of course, COVID kind of makes it weird, but at the same time, we just got to keep going and push through it and keep the ball moving. So I am so very, very proud, and thank you so much for coming into the garden and just watering it for me. So I hope you have an amazing night, and thank you everybody who did come out. This will be available in a couple of weeks as far as the podcast portion of it, but it is posted on YouTube, and it is in Facebook, D Live, Trovo, and Twitch. So yeah, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere.
Wait, everywhere?
Everywhere.
Even on those sites that we don't talk to the kids about? Hey, every site's a streaming site.
Right. Basically, even Twitter's a streaming site now, and a podcast site. So
what? Okay, that's new to me. Well, okay, you can make Twitter videos.
Twitter Spaces.
Oh, you know what? No, that's right. Twitter yeah, okay.
I do save them too.
Yeah.
So I haven't had a chance to dabble in it just yet. But I did want to take a look at it in the future, but I didn't want to top load myself because I already do a lot, and I have a lot on my plate. So make sure that you're balancing.
Yeah.
Balancing and finding that balance.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get out of here, and I hope that you guys have a great day. Thank you so much, Pons.
Of course.
And I'm gonna put you over here, and I'm gonna put me down here, and we're gonna say our goodbyes.
Of course.
You want to hit the V on your keyboard?
Okay.
There we go. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys are following Pons on all his socials. Pons is on Twitch, twitch.tv, Pons Press. He's on Twitter. Twitter is different than Twitch, right?
Yes, that's Chase Pons 64.
Chase Pons 64 on Twitter. And then just make sure you guys check him out. He has an amazing podcast as well, and he's always doing events. So pull up for crab games. And I'm gonna see if I can get some of the Facebook partners on Sunday's crab games too. So I'm gonna put that out there. If you could send me like the information or the flyer, and I'll put it in the Facebook group.
I will.
Alrighty. So thank you guys again. Thank you so much for being a part of my universe. Thank you so much for just being uniquely you. Make sure that you guys stay hydrated, stay prayed up, and always be yourself. Unless you suck, and you know exactly what sucks about you. So come to the garden and fix it. And I love you guys so much. Have an amazing day.